A very good morning to you. How are you doing? It is exactly 7 minutes past 9 a.m. in the morning, and welcome to Our Farmers Media, where we are telling the story of the African farmer one day, one story at a day. My name is Grace Mugoni, and this is a breakfast show, and we come to you every single day from Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. all the way up until 10. But today we're starting a little late, but we will be here long enough to at least go through what we had prepared for you. Now, before we start delving into serious matters, let me just remind you a few things that we must do every single day because we agreed we are going to take care of each other. I take care of myself, you take care of yourself, you take care of the people around you, and through that, we will raise a whole ocean of immunity and we will defend this this giant of COVID-19. Now, the fact that that wave is here, it does not stop does not make us any less susceptible to the disease. And with what we are seeing in the media, the numbers are rising, and at least everyone can put a face up, to this virus. So you really need to take care. And yesterday we had an infection rate of 16%. So it's not where we want to be, but compared to where we've come from in the recent weeks, well, I can almost say tumeanza kufanya kazi nzuri. However, there is the job and so many myths surrounding the vaccine and so many fears and everything. Now that boils down to you. Do you want to take it when it will be offered to you? Do you want to refuse? Whatever you decide, you know what, it's all right. The decision lies solely on you. However, there are guidelines that you should follow and we must follow, and I told you hakuna choice ya ati afadhali ufanye kitu moja wache ingine. Nope, it is not an neither nor situation, it's an all of the three situation, right? And the first one is you must put on your face mask when you leave home. Every time you leave your house, the comfort of your house, before you get to work, before you enter in the matatu, before you get to the supermarket, before you go to buy tomatoes from your grocer, exactly everywhere. So, but given that it is not in your house, make sure you have a face mask on, a clean one at that, or a new one. Regarding regardless of what you use, if you use the disposable ones, or it's alright. If you're using the reusable ones, make sure it's a clean one every morning. Also, make sure you can access a hand washing point where you wash your hands for not less than 20 seconds with soap and running water. And if you're unable to keep accessing a hands washing point, make sure that you can sanitize as often as you can. Any sanitizer contains 60% of alcohol so that it can be effective. The third thing that you need, or the third rule that you need to observe, is make sure that between you and the other person, there is a distance of a whole 1.5 or 2 meters, to say the least. Is that right? Yeah, I can see how you're looking at me. Ukiingia matatu, I know they're flaunting those rules, but if you can, whenever possible, right, make sure you try as much as possible to keep that distance. Yeah. All right. Say having said that, tomorrow is when the national exams begin, and we're wishing all the candidates all the best, and we hope to see them on the other side after they're done with exams. I hate exams, so yeah. Everyone, there we go. Now today on the breakfast show, I want us to talk about communal farming, right? It's on a Thursday, so it's a little bit of TBT. And we're not going to post our pictures today. No, we're going to post I'm going to post across this question. Do you think communal farming is relevant in this day and age? Do you think, given all the challenges we are going through as a country and as an African continent, do you think in this day and age, in this era, do you think communal farming is viable? Is it possible to have or to go back to communal farming? Have you seen anyone or any village doing communal farming? Or are you practicing communal farming? Because it it's gonna at some point come out really like backwarded wise. However, I think it's time we thought about it because the reason why we need to think about it is because we are calling the youth out, right? We want them to get involved in farming. We want them to be directly involved in food production because, like I said, and like I've been saying throughout the programs, that we need to a sustainable, food security in the country, most especially, yeah, and then spread it to the rest of the continent, right? And the fact that we are calling ladies as well, or women, since this is the Women's History Month, and then you look at the things or why they have not been involved for a long time, then don't you think it's time we looked at communal farming? Maybe it could work. Maybe let's see if it's viable, right? And what do we need to do? And the ones who are practicing what they are doing, right? Because I don't get it. It's well, I didn't. I'm not from when they were doing communal farming, but upon like taking a look, a close look, and wondering what is happening. Why are we not seeing people practicing this? Maybe it's our answer to this whole menace, maybe it's what we've been waiting for, maybe it's what we've been looking for, or maybe it's something we forgot, and maybe it might push us mahali, right? Now, communal farming, for those for the millennials and the young farmers who just don't have an idea, communal farming is a type of agricultural production where the holdings of several farmers are run as a joint enterprise. Yeah. So, for example, where you live, right? Let's say you're about let's say maybe 100 people, right? In a whole, let's call it a community, right? And then you decide in your time kona kashamba kamoja, as in you own land, right? And when you put that whole land together, instead of subdividing it, you have bigger land, and you decide, let's do this, let's farm together, let's put our resources together, our minds together, our ideas together, our energies together, and our plants together, and let's plant together, right? It's just like how people come together and form companies, people who are not related. Yeah, people who you just think, or how how house musical bands are formed, right? You meet maybe in a concert, or you meet in a school, or during, it's just how people meet, right? And then you discover, you can play the guitar, I can play the piano, I can write good lyrics, I can, my vocals are so sharp and everything, right? So you come together, you say, now let's put all that we have, our differences, yeah, because it is in those differences that you make the strongest team, right? So exactly, so when you meet as farmers and you decide, now what even brings us together more so is the fact that maybe we own land around the same place, or we live in the same place, and we can just take up that piece of land, and instead of kugawanisha gawanisha, we say, let's just make it whole, toys my fences and everything, and let's just come together and say, what can we grow? We can grow maybe potatoes, maybe we can grow maize, maybe you can grow flowers, whatever it is that you want to farm, right? Or whatever you want to grow as a whole community. So the rest of you, should you be 100, should you be 10, should you be 20, and you've decided to come together and utilize all your individual lands, put it together into one big land, right? And decide, now we are going to do this, right? I wanted to say it's like a charmer, but the things that happen in those things, no, let us not involve it here, right? So yes, it is. I'm trying to bring this closer home, because we need to understand what communal farming is, and this and when you put your energies together, your thoughts together, everything becomes joint, you know joint in a way that if you're going to till the land, prepare land, let's say mmeamua mnaeka mahindi ama waru, right? So you decide, now that we are here, you like call yourselves a meeting. You decide, we can, maybe in this acre of land, or in this 10 acres of land, we have decided we are going to plant Maize, right? I don't know people who plant maize in 10 acres, but hey, it's an example. We're going to plant maize, and then how we're going to do it, we're going to sit down or have a meeting, come together, say, to be able to buy all the seedlings we need, right? We need X amount of money. So seedlings, wanasema ni hiyo pesa iko hapo juu. And then you go on and say, we also need hizi mahindi tukipanda zinaweza kuliwa ama they can be attacked by 1 to 3. So you say kununua dawa ya kuspray hizo vitu will be X amount of money. That is the second amount, right? You still mnachangia tu kwa hiyo, in that since it's community joint, right? And then you go on and say we also need 1 2 3 4 5 6, and then by the end of the day you curate all all the rest of your budget, right? And once you are done, you decide because now we need probably 100K to just start or to just get these things that you've written down. The rest, as in the whole of you, mnaingia kwa mfuko and you chuck money, as in you contribute money, and then you say, now that we have brought these things here, we need to go and till the land again. All of you, whether you decide to just stand huko hivyo alafu mwandike watu, or you do it nyinyi wenyewe, it does not it's not where like in a family where your mom and your dad wanasema on Saturday we are going to the shamba to do 1 2 3 and everyone must come, whether you want to or not. It is not like that here. It's joint. No one makes, not a single person makes decision for the rest of you. It's all of you to agree. You agree or disagree, yeah, but every decision is made together. So let's say you decide nyinyi wote mtaenda mlime hiyo shamba, to before, in preparation to plant, all of you go there together, mnalima, mnamaliza, and then wakati wa planting ikuja, you go dig the trenches, mnaeka your seeds there, and then every other time mnakubaliana, let's meet here and go do 1 2 3. Haya, once you harvest, yeah, you harvest together, you package the food together, you take it to the market. Okay, to the market, probably not all of you will go, but all the decisions will have been made from you, and probably you can send a few representatives, right? Exactly. But you see, what we are preaching, or what communal farming, one of its characteristics is the fact that nyinyi wote, you all make decisions together. No one is superior than the other one. No, 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 no. If it's contributing, you all contribute the same amount of money. And if it's giving labor, all of you, everyone paying labor the same, on the same way, on the same level. It's everything is done, from a point of consent. Yeah, you consent to contribute money. You consent to, to also come and work there. You consent where the market, the market mahali unapeleke your the crop, and then you also consent when the money comes. How much do you take back as capital for the farm? How much does each one of you get, and how much maybe are you going to save as a corporation, or as let's say mnajita, wakulima bora maybe, or something like that, right? And these things worked. There was a whole like there's a whole revolution when they worked, but it didn't last long, because now countries are not practicing communism anymore. We are now capitalists all world over. We're communists, so we are capitalists. So communism ilisha kitambo. So that, I think that's when communal farming totally completely vanished. However, South Africa and Zimbabwe wamekuwa wakijaribu to bring it or to keep it alive, because like I said, every country at this point in the African continent, we are trying to make sure that we are working towards food security in our countries, because like I said, or like I keep saying, that at least annually there is, in every African country, there must be a case, of a severe drought. in either remote areas of the country, or just because people are fighting, or whatever the reason might be, there's always something like that. And that is what we are trying to eradicate. And we said we are going to work tirelessly towards, preaching the gospel of eradicating poverty in this country, and in this and in this continent, the African continent. Because imagine if we can produce our very own food, be able to feed our very own people and ourselves, and even have enough to put away for a rainy day, and the rest to process and sell. I mean, it's I think that's where we can even I think if we produced enough food for our countries and ourselves, and even some to put away, or to to store for a rainy day, I think we would stop being called developing countries. I mean, feed your people and then you're good to go, because this people, when you feed them, they'll be able to work and even overwork and work overtime, right? And then that's how economies are grown, right? Exactly. So you see, eradicating poverty plays a great role in agriculture, right? And that is why I'm saying maybe communal farming is what we need to go back to. Maybe. I'm not I'm not saying go must go there. No, I'm just saying hebu tuangalieni, what could be wrong. Maybe the way it was practiced kitambo, or maybe now that we are digitizing everything, maybe, you see, maybe it could be the answer that you've been looking for. And hey, if it's viable, why not? If it's not viable, then let's know, this one is X. Let's move on to, looking for other ways to be able to make sure that we have constant supply of food, as well as we eradicate, the annual drought, and hunger, in our country, as well as the African continent. Now, moving on, the communal sector supports a rural population which are not primarily agriculturalists because of population density, also low rainfall, limited arable soil, and lack of interest. Now, in every community, not everyone is a farmer, right? And the reason as to why communal farming worked a Kitambo, it's because of a few things, and I'm going to keep saying them. The first one, it's because of population density. Now, in where people are too many, surpassing the capacity that can be held within that locality at any one time, that means the demand for food will be always higher than the supply. And so, if a majority of these people are living like a overcrowding, or overcrowded in a place, and then the farm, as in not everyone can afford to own a farm, then it is better for you, all of you guys, to it was better, or it was appropriate for communal farming. And that is why it worked, because like I said, now kutakuwa na watu wengi, there'll be too much labor, you know and people will be able to produce, too much food to be able to also feed this population. So exactly. And then low rainfall, hey, that reminds me, sometime this week, my colleagues, the ones who come for the mid-morning show, were talking about rain-fed crops, and how we, as farmers in this country, as well as in the continent, we depend on rain-fed food, because, well, Africa kuna mvua mingi, and we thank God for that. And it rains, like in Kenya, it rains twice. Yeah, kuna long rains na kuna short rains, right? And right about now, we're supposed to be having long rains. I don't know why they're not here yet, but hey, tunangojea bado, climate change, right? Yeah. So you see, lack of ama low rainfall now could make people now decide, hey, because we don't have a rainfall imekawia kuja, what they will do is they would probably make or find ways of getting water. And then they would decide, instead of everyone now going to maybe dig their own boreholes, or going for over long distances to get water, why can't we do it together to save time, and even to help each other, and then come in, just practice communal farming? You see, so it could work, right? It could work for them. Not like right now, everyone has piped water, and that's it. You just have piped water to your house, and hey, kama hao wengine hawana, if they can't afford it, hi, it's their problem, right? Let them buy. Washia kukutini kuja, Back then, those guys, I don't think they were selling water. They couldn't even afford to sell water. I mean, back then everyone just moved. I mean, it was communal. If you don't have food, you come, and if you're cooking, you just come and eat from our home, right? So that's why communal farming worked back then. Um, Now in Kenya, the last I had about communal farming was in 2015 in Baringo County, and how this came about, it's because there were two communities, the pastoralist communities. They were, the wrangles they always have, the tribal wars they always have, and they decided, instead of fighting anymore, why can't we come together and maybe try, peacekeeping through communal farming? That was the last time we heard about communal farming in Kenya, 2015. Yeah, 2015. However, my question still is, what happened to communal farming in Africa? And would you consider communal farming within your current locality in this era? Is it workable? Do you think? Let's just start from the fact that I think we are top 10 in the list of the most corrupt countries. Maybe, yeah, maybe we are top 10, or maybe that's not number one. Maybe no, was it two, one or two? We're just hiding it, right? That notwithstanding, yeah, and the fact that our leaders are not enabling us as farmers to be able to practice this, and the fact that also climate change is not favoring us. The seedlings are too expensive nowadays to, to be able to get good seeds, right? Exactly. And the fact that we are still trying to bring the youth uh, on board this mission of producing food. Do you think that maybe communal farming is where we need to go? Do you think so? And what happened to it anyway? Kwanini Lisha, and it was doing so well. I mean, communities would be so friendly right now. They would be so, and you don't closely knit together, because the things that are happening in this day and age, I think largely it's because communities will decide people are going to live in the gated communities. I mean, not even communities, households. So long as umefence kwako and you're living with you and your kids and your husband and your wife, hey, the rest of the world can burn. It doesn't concern you, right? Maybe don't you think that the absurd things like people meeting their kin on the way and hata hawajuani, unasikia, you've never seen them, but maybe we even attend the same school, or maybe we even live in the same neighborhood, or we even work in the same office, but hamjuani, maybe, right? Maybe if communal farming came back, maybe we go back to these things, right? I don't know. What do you think? Please let me know, and how you can do that. We are live on Facebook at our farmers, and on YouTube at Our Farmers Media. Kindly let me know where you are watching us from and what your opinion is. What do you feel about communal farming? What happened to communal farming first? And would you consider communal farming within your current locality? I mean, everything held constant. Mvua ni mbaya, okay, si mbaya. The weather patterns have changed, so we're not experiencing weather as we have been in the past, and also the fact that hey, Gava too, most of the African governments are not enabling, the farmers, and then given the fact that the youth bado history ya farm ijawa nice bado, as in they still don't feel like we can do this, right? Or the other thing is, given the fact that we also don't we don't own land directly, or even if we own land, we're not able to do it on our own. Considering all those things, can you get involved, or can you get engaged, or can you engage in communal farming in this day and era? Let me know, and in a moment I'll be sampling all your comments. Now there could be so very many benefits of communal farming, because like I keep saying, there are always two sides of the coin. There are two sides of a coin, the good and the bad. And here we say that we're telling the story of the African farmer, the good, the bad, the ugly, the doable, the feasible ones, the ones we're like, hey, Apana, don't be the first one to begin, and the other ones will be like, hey, maybe do it, and then we can see whether I can do it, right? Yes, we'll be looking at that in a short while. Also, we'll looking at problems in communal farming because let's be honest. Hey, I know people who do not want to share, not even the air we are breathing. If there was a way you could just hold your own air, like just hold it or just like store it somewhere or just like not share with people. I know the people who will be like that, and it's okay. That's what people are. It's okay, right? But then again, these problems, pardon, these problems I think could be addressed the right way if we decided it. So my question today, I'm going to keep repeating this question because we need answers as much as we can. So my question is, what happened to communal farming in Africa? And would you consider communal farming within your current locality? Mahali mnaishi, would you, if you were given, if everything was presented, there is land, there is good seedlings to whatever you want to plant, there is kuna markets available, you're guaranteed, like let's say if you want to plant strawberries, mwambiwe mkiplant hizi matunda kuna market inawangojea, and then mwambiwe kuna pesa mtapatiwa so that you can be able to bring in the material, the labor that you need, the expertise. Like I said, you need the expertise. Yeah, we can only give you so much. Yeah, the rest of the journey, you need to take some initiative, and also don't get stuck. All these things put together. Alafu ambiwe now, what is stopping you from doing communal farming? Would you practice it? Do you think it's still viable in this day and era, or at least in this day and age? Do you think communal farming could work now that we are all working towards food security, in Vision 2030 in the country as well as the rest of Africa? Do you think communal farming could still work in Kenya and in Africa at large? The question is, what happened to communal farming in Africa, and would you consider communal farming within your current locality? All things held constant, do you? Would you not? Now, let me know how you get to talk to me or tell me your opinion is by going to Facebook or at Our Farmers, and then on YouTube you're at Our Farmers Media. Let me know what you think, how you feel. You can even tell me when you were growing up, did you find communal farming? If you did it work? Do you think if we change a few tactics here and there, it could work? And would you want to be part of communal farming? Do let me know. And in the meantime, between time, I'm giving you some 2 minutes to go sanitize as well as do a few things, and I'll see you on the other side of this break. Do not go too far.
Farmers is the home of Africa Farmers Club, and by extension, African farmers. The whole idea behind Farmers is to transform the image of an African farmer from a producer into an agripreneur, somebody who actually does not think about how to produce onions, but how much is going to be used to produce onions, and so that way then they can be able to transform their vision. They can be able to look at their farms as businesses, and they can be able to know when to engage with the market. What we have done is that we have developed a hub where farmers bring their information, bring their questions, their challenges, and other farmers are there to come out and help. Facebook has not just been instrumental. Facebook has been a working partner for myself as well. And Facebook has actually transformed the way we relate, an open platform. My background is in tech, and I know you cannot build a platform that can reach out to so many people. Initially, it was just a few farmers in 2 counties, Machakos County and Kajiado counties, but now it has transformed. We have a stronger membership from Nigeria and Zambia than even Kenya itself, you know. And the reason behind this is the messages I get from different farmers across Africa. And then something interesting came to my mind, and I thought about using the camera. Every time I visited farmers, I would be able to post in the community, in the group, in my own profile, and just share the story of the farmer that I visited. And then I asked myself, why wouldn't I get this information, develop it in a way that other people can be able to benefit? If we go for a training, how do we capture that so that those who are not, the farmers who are not able to come for that training can still benefit? And hence the birth of a farmers media. Our mission as an organization is to help farmers, African farmers, to attain knowledge and grow profits.
I'm Lilian Mwangi. I welcome you to AFARMers. AFARMers is a community-based organization whereby we bring farmers together and we train them on different farming techniques and methods, and so that they can make profits from farming. So we also have a Farmers TV, whereby we are able to bring farmers together and get even more knowledge through the social media and different channels. Yeah, that's what we are and that's what we do.
Amaranthus, or locally known as terere, is a highly nutritious vegetable that is cultivated and consumed as a leafy vegetable in many parts of the world. It's easy to grow, matures fast, as it takes an incredible shorter period than most traditional crops. There are many species of amaranthus, with some green and others red in color. When growing amaranthus, ensure the soil is well drained and rich in phosphorus, and most importantly, ensure the seeds are well distributed to achieve an even spread when establishing a grain amaranthus field. Amaranthus is especially loved for its tender leaves and for their healthy dose of ions, vitamins, and a range of minerals.
A very good morning to you. How are you doing? Welcome to A Farmers Media, where we are telling the story of the African farmer one story at a time. And we are exactly 51 minutes past 9 a.m. A very good morning to you. Where are you listening to us or watching us from? This is the breakfast show, and it comes to you every single day, Monday to Friday, from 8 a.m. all the way to 10 a.m. And my name is Grace Smuthoni, and you know what? I hope you've been sanitizing, because that is the gospel we are preaching right here. And that wave of corona is here, and it's killing people mercilessly and leaving the others, others maimed and greatly dis disrupted. And the things that we need to keep observing or keep looking out for is physical distance. Make sure between you and the other person there's a physical distance of about 1.5 to 2 meters. Also, make sure that you keep sanitizing. It is the gospel of sanitizing. Yes, you need to, day in, day out. And if you are able to get to a hand washing point, make sure you do so and clean your hands not less than 20 seconds with soap and running water. Also, make sure that you are wearing your face masks. Yes, at work, at when you're walking, when you're going to the supermarket, when you're out of your house, make sure you have the mask on and it goes over your mouth and over your nose. Are we together now? Now that you know that, let's make sure that you take care of yourself, I take care of myself and the people we love, and together we will raise a community that is able to defend themselves against this monster. Now there is the vaccine that is already currently rolling out in most of the countries, and ikikufikia, you need to make a choice. Will you take the jab or will you not? Now that decision rests solely on you. So whatever you decide, no one is going to victimize you for it or even bully you for it. So please, I just hope you make the wise decision, right? And before you even decide to go take it or not take it, make sure you do your due diligence, research as much as you can, and as much as you can, try, the ignorant comments and opinions from people, because like I said, that the decision to take the vaccine rests on you and you alone. Now, is that all right? Okay. Now what we need to do right now is go back into what we've been talking about, and the fact that this month is the month of Women's History Month, right? And then we've been urging the youth to come on board and try doing some farming, because hey, we need to secure our food situation in the country as well as in the African continent. And then we've been talking about so many things. Um, we've been talking about so many things every single day, every time, day in, day out. Tunasema we need to bring the youth on the table, ama on the table. We need to include them in this conversation. We need to attract them and retain them here, because yes, that's what we're talking about, and talking about how the government should come in between, waingilie kati, how we can train them, how we can hold their hand as they look for markets and everything all around, right? And women too, right? They have been taking the back seat, or they've taken the back seat for quite some time now, and you're also asking them to come on board, right? As we try to help the men who have been something like steering, this industry, and it's time we pull our resources and our labor force together, and try see what we can do as a country. Now, as well as what we can do is as well as what we can do as a whole continent, that's the African continent, right? Now, communal farming. I'm asking, and I'll keep asking. The question of the day is: what happened to communal farming in Africa, and would you consider communal farming within where you live currently? All things held constant. Yeah, mvua kunayo, hakuna bado. Hey, the government has enabled maybe you, or it's giving out fertilizers, or just giving a conducive environment where we can be able to farm politically. Given the fact that kuna shamba and the labor force is there, would you consider communal farming right now in this day and age mahali unaishi? Would you? Now let me know. You can send your answers to a farmers on Facebook, on YouTube. It's at a farmers media, and I'll be able to sample all your feedback in a while. Now, some of the benefits, should you decide unataka kufanya communal farming, some of the benefits is the fact that we'll have healthy local economies, man, and that will come through the money will keep circulating in our communities, and we will not keep importing things kutokana huko nje, as well as this money that will come, we will always make sure that we pass it to our local restaurants, farmer markets, retailers, and consumers. Yeah, because if you're farming as a community, if this money comes, where do we inject it? Back into our economies. Yeah, uh, the shareholders now can pass this money to restaurants, the markets, the retailers, and the consumers, because when the money comes, tunajilipa tu, and then we go and also shop in our communities, we go eat in our communities, and then the money keeps circulating at one point, at every point, the money is just circulating within the community, right? Hakuna pesa inatoka, because now again we won't need to go out to go and try outsourcing food or whatever we can't produce on our own, right? Exactly. That is one of the benefits. The second one is environmental solutions now. It could be so many things. However, what we can have is we see the fact that there's urbanization, and the fact that most of us are here deciding ushago kuzikalika, we just need to go and look for greener pastures, whatever it is that you are living. We've left the land to deteriorate, yeah, and it's losing so much fertility, as in it's just going to waste, right? When you don't use something, it either goes extinct, or it ceases to be beneficial, because if you don't use it, then it's just like that. It's like let me talk about something. Let's look at cars. If you have a car and you don't use it every day, the least you can do is make sure unaigurumesha kila siku. You have to make sure at least the engine and the battery don't I don't know if they don't die, but as in they're always working, right? But at least make sure they work and they are in good condition, right? And also, when once mileage ya gari imepita, ama once umefikisha mileage, what do you do to your car? Unapeleka gari servicing. So exactly, you see that we need to keep taking care of our farmland, yeah, in case you've been planting for too long, and it's time now to let your soil regain back some strength, or replenish the minerals and the nutrients in the soil. What do? You plant something lighter, and something that will take a shorter season, to just allow the soil to relax and breathe and just replenish on its own, right? Exactly. Now, if we don't take care of our farms, or if we just leave it here for too bare, what happens is the nutrients now, because they're not being used, they'll become useless, and they'll become wasted, and then that land, in more often than not, we start thinking of transforming it into things that won't be growing food, right? That is what I'm saying. It will give us an environmental solution if we decided he land yote, that the one, all this land, why can't we just use it for communal purposes, right? Exactly. We are the one that we've been preaching all, I think, authors on round, is the fact that we also have local food security now. You have seen places where they are unable to grow their own food, because maybe the place is too dry, because maybe the soil is not fertile, those guys are not economically able to grow their own food, and so what do? They rely on the people who are able to grow food and sell it to them, transport it all the way there and sell it. Now imagine if this land, the government decided wataingilia kati, the county government, the national government will decide, we tutaingilia kati, we come maybe give you civic education on why you need to start farming, or what would grow here well, and let's show you how to grow it yourselves, and let's enable you with ready markets. Let's tutawatafutia markets kama it's not within your same localities, it could be in another locality within the same country, right? Make sure that you give them the things, the crops, the seedlings, everything. Make sure they are also able to access water, right? Let's enable these people to be able to plant their own food, and that way what will happen is that they'll be able to grow food enough for their households, the whole locality. Like, let's say if it is in Kitengela, we can be able to grow our own food here, and as in make sure that this food is distributed within the whole of Kitengela. And imagine we can even have surplus so we can sell it to other people. So what does that mean? That means we stop depending on the viazis natoka Nyahururu, the Irish potatoes, not but Nyandarua, right? We stop probably waiting for those ones, and then we'll stop going to buy food in other communities, in other localities. We will be able to sustain our own small community. Yes, and you see, with that, it is also going to bring the local economies, because we'll always have money circulating. Like I said, farming is the most important economical activity of all time, right? And it gives people good returns, it gives people jobs, or employment, and it sustains a whole community. Like I said, if all the rest of the whole of Africa was able to like farm and produce our own food, we would cease being called the developing countries. I promise we would, because if your people are full, they're able to afford food, eat, and be satisfied, and also have something to store just in case things or the climate just decides that it won't correspond. Can you imagine? We'll be having energy enough to continue working even overtime. And what does that do? That drives our economy, upwards. And that is how we have stable economies. And that is how tutatokuyo bracket ya kuitwa developing countries. Exactly. That is why I'm asking the question today. What happened to communal farming in Africa? And would you consider communal farming within your current locality? Is it viable for you? Having listened to us whine and say, hey, we need to bring the youth here. Now the youth are here, wamefika. The ladies or the women wamesema pia sisi tunakuja kulima. And given the fact that there is land to farm, but the labor ndo haiko, right? Now imagine if we all came together and said, you know what? Sisi wote, let's do communal farming. Do you think it would work? Having given you those reasons, do you think communal farming would work? Do you? Well, then let me know. And how you let me know is by texting on Facebook at Farmers, and on YouTube at Farmers Media. Let me know where you are watching us from, and whether this is viable, communal farming is viable in this day and age. And if you were born, or if you started existing during the era where kulikuwa na communal farming, what would you tell us about it? Do you think we are going back to things that won't work, or do you think there's a few things we could borrow from that farming, and we could be able to, I don't know, have a secure um food country, secure food country. I use that because at least every year or annually, in almost every African country, most of us are affected by drought and famine. And what we need to be able to do at this point is be able to meet the demand for food, because our population is growing, or it's going up by great numbers. And what we need to do is make sure that we can be able to counter that with supplying plenty or enough food to these communities. And that is why we are asking, what happened to communal farming in Africa? And would you consider communal farming within your current locality? Now, I can see some of you have. um, I can see some of you have decided. You've already started texting me. Sending in your answers, and I'm going to be reading them or sampling them um in a while. Now let's continue talking about the benefits we would get should we decide we are going back to community farming. Market stability. Now, you see, when a community, or when us as a community, we invest in farm, we're going to be able to have sustainable production systems, and farmers will market from market price stability. Because now, if we are all of us, as in, we agree, we are selling our produce at this X amount. No one from our community will come and say, "Aye, these ones are expensive for nothing. Let me give you at a lower price." No, because like I said, decision making will involve everyone in that community. So we decide tulitumia, we bought a seedling maybe at 50 shillings moja, and so that we can be able to make profit and everything. What we do is we sell a kilo of maybe a kilo of potatoes at this much, so that you can be able to recover this much, and you can be able to pay people this much, or pay ourselves, right? So no one, as in, there won't be rival prices. So whatever you set goes. However, do not exploit people. Should you go back to doing this, avoid exploiting people, because now farmers could also be cheeky and start exploiting people, knowing that now they have monotony over, a certain market. Be watchful of that. And now there's also something called social capital and community amenities. Now, there is something called organizations and these people. What they can do is, we can help create community amenities, beyond food production, and that could include having building educational centers, recreation opportunities, and conserving nature. Now, what happens when a whole community decides to remain, tufanye hizi vitu zote, when you get your profits, yeah, and kila mtu amelipwa, and then there's still a little more money to invest, instead of just going back and saying, hey, if we did this and we got this much money, can you imagine if we did much more? Don't be greedy. Yeah, what now you need to do is go back to these communities, or to this local, wherever you live, and start giving back to the community, right? Build a school. How many schools are there? Build a school. Do you guys have hospitals? Can you access a good hospital that will be that has equipment? Yeah, if there's a hospital na haina resources or equipment, or is it even medical personnel, can you hire some, or can you be able to send some of your children waende huko mbele wasome, and then they can come back and treat people? As in, can you do some good back in this community? Just don't msigawane hii pesa and then decide, you know what, everyone goes home rich and we are okay. Can you make sure that at least other people are benefiting from, the goodness that comes with investing together? Build a parking, not a parking, but a park for kids to play, ride their bikes over the weekend. Like right now that they have closed school, they come back home, they play with the rest of the neighbors, and they just unwind. Yeah, can you make sure, maybe because now that you're having extra money to invest, can you maybe invest in a good a good market with facilities? Can you do something good with the money, as in social capital and community amenities? Yeah, when you get this money and the surplus of of it, can you do something back in your community? Because let me tell you something, what you leave behind will either make or break whatever you're doing. Because let's like I was saying, like we saw yesterday, one of the reasons as to why youths are not motivated to practice farming, it's because they've been seeing the parents who are farmers not being paid by the government or the corporations they've entered into agreement with. They say, we farm this and you need this for your companies to survive. So we farm, we bring our produce, and then you pay us. Now, if we bring our produce and don't pay us, do you think those kids will want to be in the same position as their parents? No. So if you are in a community of farmers, and then, or you're having communal farming, and decide, hey, sisi, to me decide, this money will just be in our pockets and we won't do anything with it. Do you think these kids, and like I said, they not kids but the youths, and I told you what people do, it's they don't do what you tell them to do, they do what they see you do. It's monkey see monkey do you think you'd be attracting them? Because they'll be thinking, hey, this will just keep their money to themselves. I mean, they don't do any good in the community. And like I said, the way the millennials, or the way the youth are brought up, or have been brought up in this digital era, does not involve selfishness, and it does not involve them doing labor intensive work. Mm-mm. It's just not them. So you see, if you don't make it attractive enough for them, or they don't see you doing good with what you're getting, then be sure enough they will come and do the same things you are doing. And you see, your communities haitakuwa na kitu. People will be, wanahama tu kwa sababu now kama you can't, you can't build better schools within your locality, and you have money to invest after you have done communal farming. Nyinyi wenyewe ndo mnafukuza your own people, and when will your kids even go to school when they start farming and they now have kids of their own? So what we're advocating for is communal farming. Maybe it is the answer we've been looking for. Maybe it's the lost long practice that we need maybe to consider, because we want to have secure food, secure food channels, or secure food. I think food is capital in this in this in our country as well as in Africa. I think we can use food as capital. Yeah? It's our security. Yeah. So now that we are advocating for food security in our communities and within our communities, and also in the larger community that is the African continent, don't you think maybe it is time we went back and looked at communal farming was here, when we were communists, communists, most of these countries, before capitalism came and, disrupted the normal thinking of of a human being. We think maybe if we go back and do things, in togetherness, maybe something will change, or maybe we will know why it didn't work then, and who knows, if we manage it that right now, everything will work, right? Exactly. Now I know the look you're giving me, but hey, it's all right, because I will keep asking, and I will keep waiting for you to tell me, do you think you can be an no, let me rephrase the question. What happens to communal farming in Africa, and would you consider communal farming within your current locality? What happens to communal farming in Africa, and would you consider communal farming within your locality? Now, if you wanna react to this, you can get me at a farmers media, that is on YouTube, and a farmers on Facebook. Kindly remember to tell me uko wapi unatuangalia ukiwa maeneo gani, where are you listening or watching to us from. And remember that you need to keep sanitizing. You need to keep a physical distance of about 1.5 to 2 meters at all times, and at all times make sure you are having a face mask on. It is as simple as that, right? And there's a vaccine. So guys, what are you doing with your lives? Are you going to take the vaccine or not? That rests upon you. But the three things ni mandatory. You must do them. There's nothing like neither nor, or I will do it maybe when I'm in the crowd and I don't trust them. The only person you can trust right now is yourself. So please kindly be on the lookout. Now let us go back into some serious some more serious business here, and look at the fact that communal farming was here before. Like I said, the last thing I heard about communal farming in this country was about 2015, when in Baringo County, and it's because of the two warring communities who live in within Baringo, and then they decided, we've been fighting for the longest time as neighbors. Maybe if we put our heads together and work towards communal farming, maybe that is the only way we are left, maybe to catch up or get, try to forgive each other. Exactly, right? So when those things happened, they decided enough is enough, no more bloodshed, no more fighting. They decided they were going to do or practice communal farming, and that is when they went to communal farming and decided, tuko sawa, tuko salama sasa, and communal farming began. But I don't know how far they are. We would like to know how far they are. But up until right now, there's nothing more to that story. Imefika tu hapo. And and that is the last time I heard about communal farming in the country. Now I don't Africa, no, in Africa only two countries are practicing communal farming: Zimbabwe and South Africa. And I would like to know, given everything held constant, would you would you consider communal farming within your current locality, given that the rainfall is sufficient, given that there is good climate, given all things held constant, right? Let's just say that. Would you consider communal farming? Keep those opinions coming, and I'll be reading them in a few. But in the meantime, between time, go sanitize as well as think about it and let me know, or even why you born during communal farming. What did you find them they were doing? What did you learn, and what would you want us to consider as we talk about communal farming? I will see you on the other side of this break. Do not go far. My name is Grace Muthoni, and this is a Breakfast Show.
One of the most important activities on our farms is scouting. Why is it important? Because you get to know what is affecting your crops on a daily basis. Join me, Noah Nasiali Kadima, every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m., where we guide you to attain knowledge and grow profits.
Are you a farmer facing challenges in your farm? Pests, diseases, or even unsatisfactory produce? Worry no more. The solution is here. Join us every Tuesday on Diagnostic Tuesday, where we talk about various issues affecting agriculture and interacting with experts with knowledge in different sectors of agriculture to provide you with appropriate solutions, giving hope to farmers to attain better yields, to achieve financial success and development. Our farmers attain knowledge and grow profits.
As we quickly progress from agriculture to agribusiness, market is key. Join us every Wednesday as we bring to you Market Watch, a show that covers candid discussions regarding the state of the market. Tune in and let's turn our farms into businesses.
one of the sectors that we have recently gone into is fruit seedlings. This is avocado. These are seeds that we grow. The avocado seedling from seed, and then when it's a little bigger, after 2 months, we'll graft it, and now we'll sell you a grafted avocado. So what you can see here is just avocado seeds, and a bit of them have started shooting. The other planted seedling that we do is oranges. You can see this orange is about 2.5 years old, and you can see already the fruits are there. And it's a variety that is called Washington Navel. It grows this height. We've put it in a bag because we move around when we go to shows, but otherwise this is a plant that you can grow in your own garden, and it will give you oranges all year round.
A very good morning to you. How are you doing? Welcome to Farmers Media, where we are telling the story of the African farmer, one story at a time. And my name is Grace Muthoni, and this is a breakfast show, and we come to you every single day from Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. all the way to 10 a.m. And right about now, it is done 15. Like I said, hey, if good things are good, we extend them kidogo. But away from that, I hope you've been sanitizing. I hope you're having your face mask on, and I hope you are also maintaining a physical distance of about 1.5 to 2 meters, because that wave of coronavirus is here in the country as well as world over, regardless of the fact that we are having vaccines rolling out already. It does not stop this monster. It is attacking day and night, and it is leaving behind a trail of destruction, both lives and livelihoods as well as our families. So like I said, we don't want, for the very first time, we don't want to go down history books as statistics. We want to go hit down history books as the people who survived to tell this story. So if you take care of your own, I take care of my own, we take care of each other, we can raise a whole community of defense against this monster, because hey, prevention is always better than cure. So kindly do not go down that road as a sick person. And I told you, there's nothing neither nor of the three regulations. It's all of them together. Wash hands, sanitize, your face mask covering your mouth and your nose 8 hours a day, so long as hauko kwa nyumba yako, and then the physical distance of about 1.5 to 2 meters. Yes, I know so many people are flaunting this, but hey, if you don't take care of you, who will take care of me and everyone else? Yeah, like I said, we need each other, because this world is a lonely place if you don't have friends to share this life with. Also, who will practice communal farming if all of us, I won't be able to do this? Yeah, anyway, it is no joke. We need to take care of each other, and that is where we are at with COVID-19 now. This morning we have been talking about communal farming, and we will talk about it for another probably 10 minutes until we say our goodbyes. But before then, let me ask the question we had asked earlier again. What happened to communal farming, and well, what happened to communal farming in Africa, and would you consider communal farming within your current locality? What happened to communal farming in Africa, and would you consider communal farming in your locality, or things held constant? Now, let me just give you a few of the the problems that might have cropped up at one time during communal farming, and that I think that's why it went extinct. But hey, we want to bring it back, and maybe it is the answer that we have been looking for in this fight, or in this fight for creating sustainable food security for Africa, because we need food security. Hey, the African population is rising day by day, and that is why we need to keep ourselves busy making food so that we can be able to take care of ourselves as well as the rest of the community. Now, like I started by saying that communal farming is where people within the same community want to come together, and then they say, with this piece of land, or with this land that is laying bare here, where can't we all pull our resources together? That is money, thoughts, and as well as labor, and we can make, we can farm, yeah. And then you see, every decision is made by everyone together, yeah. Now, a few things that you need to know. People generally are individuals, yeah. Well, I have never seen someone who's paid a salo and then they walk down the street saying, whoever needs money, kujeni pesa. Hey, we are a community, kujeni pesa. Najua mkilipo yenyu, mtakuja kudistribute down the street. No one has ever done. I have never seen. Apart from movies where money is being stolen and it's being flown, above your heads, na ndege huko juu, and then someone decides this, we can't be caught by, let's confuse this policeman, so wanatoboa pesa, wanarushia watu chini. Apart from the movies, and that is acting money, I have never seen money being given, dished out on the on the streets. Even the one that is dished out by the selfish politicians does not last long. Na ni so mbili so moja, na hiyo story inaisha. Anyway, the fact that what I was trying to say is the individualistic nature in people, and that time from time to time, because there will always be people who are for an idea and others are against it. There's no one time mtato idea moja and then 100% of you will move at a same go. No, 50% will say I no, 30% will say yes, we are for the idea, 20% will not even know where they stand. And so there are unresolved crises or problems between individuals, yeah. Or someone will just come and say, me, I don't like how Mr. Kamau speaks to the rest of us, so atolewe chairman hapo, we put another person there who can be, like I said, when you're going to the market, not the whole lot goes, you just appoint people and say 1 2 3, pelekeni hizi vitu muuze alafu mkame, yeah. So yeah, you see, that already is creating a rift right there. Right, so yeah, that is one of the problems. And the other problem that might have been experienced during communal farming earlier was the lack of government support. Now, governments in Africa are known for all the wrong things, yeah, like embezzling funds. And right now we are in the midst of a COVID millionaire billionaire saga in the country. It is a mess, yeah. And so this government, and the fact that not right now the governments are devolved, or the county governments are, you understand that there is county government with a national government, au wanataka kupiga hawa wako hivi, treasury haipeani pesa, all these things, yeah. So you find that the farmers are not or the communal farmers are not getting the help they need, maybe with subsidized fertilizers, maybe with markets, because once this food is too much already in the locality or within the community, what do you need? You need to just maybe try export some of these foods. Now, if the government does not make it easier for you guys to do that, I mean, guys, now again, hiyo ni shida. Also, it could be a problem where the government keeps importing and importing and importing food, instead of coming and buying this food from the farmers and now distributing it to the rest of the country. I mean, the fight between government and farmers has been there, and I think will be there for a really really long time, until someone decides enough is enough. Let's sit down and call out the elephant in the room. The other thing, or the other, it was in competition in a way that the fact that farmers are doing their own crop, yeah, and so they have the upper hand in how much they sell their crop or their produce, yeah. And then the government, on the other hand, goes and imports whatever they want to import cheaply, and then so the cheap things or the cheap products, they flood the market. So the community farmers wakikam wanapata in like, let's say, a kilo of tomatoes you're selling at 200 bob, and the government brought the same tomatoes at 80 shillings per kilo, and so now they're selling it at maybe 120. Who are you likely to buy from, right? The subsidized one, right? Yeah, you see, that has always been a case here, and it will be a case for a really long time unless we change. Because look, if we are able to at least in every county we have communal farming, and you're able to supply the or meet the need of supplying food in those communities or in those counties, can you imagine we'll have so much food so that the imported food will have nowhere to go? Or let's do this, make sure that the exports are taxed. No, not the exports, the imports are taxed. You know, tax zika hivi. Zika hivi, yeah? You understand? Zika hivi. Oh my goodness, yeah. And then so that when these goods now zikifika huku Kenya zinakuwa na bei gali, and then when we come with our price, which will be here and the other one will be here, you see, we are able to sell our local our local produce. Anyway, that can be debated from here to Timbuktu, but hey, ni sawa sawa. I want to say, I want to give out a very quick shout out to Bel Jahari. And a very good morning to you. We also have Kiryonki L. Ruben. Hey, a very good morning to you too. And we also have Joseph Hey, Boalia. Yeah, you guys have very, very hard names, but hey, thank you so much. Um, and welcome to the morning conversation. We are asking today about communal farming, and we are asking what happened to communal farming in Africa, and would you consider communal farming within your current locality? Do let me know. How you can get me is I'm on Facebook at A Farmers and YouTube at A Farmers Media. That is how you leave a comment, and I'll be reading it. Also, I want to say a very not a very good morning. Yes, a very good a very good morning to our very good friends here, Wanajita. Hey, yes, they're called Victoria's Farms and Enterprises. Thank you so much for watching the show as always and sharing the video links that we are doing. Thank you so much, man. Those people are very, very, you know, they are our top fans. So yeah, you see, just like that, you could get yourself a shout out. Yeah. Oh, and the fact that the weekend begins now, you never knew. Now, now that you've looked at the problems or the possible problems that might have occurred this masiku, maybe don't you think now that we are able to call out the government on some of these things, call out ourselves on some of these things, and the fact that the greater responsibilities of making sure that we have food security in the country as well as in Africa rests on our shoulders. And we've been calling the youth as well as the women as well as men to come together and engage in um, food production, direct food production, where tunasema tuendeni kwa shamba, we do research, we say, hey, let's try pig farming because, hey, it is viable. And we say now, we have given you this information, dig in, sasa endeni kwa shamba, go ye forth and start rearing the pigs there, go ye forth and start, probably producing tomatoes, go ye forth and keep killed and everything, right? Now that tumefika hapo, what is stopping us from maybe considering going back to communal farming? Is it because what? People are just too selfish and itafika mahali and we will fight to death? Or is it because the rainfall is not sufficient enough? Or is it because, what is your reason? Yeah, would you all factors held constant, would you now practice? Because tumeangalia things, why did it not work, and why did it work, or how are we going to benefit? Should we think about going back to do practicing communal farming, because let's be honest, it is the only way we are going to be able to do, to have enough food security for this country as well as the African continent. Now I'm going to go back and read this real fast, not read this fast. um just to recap for the guys who are joining us for the first time right now, you're very, very welcome. Normally we begin this show at 8 na inaisha at 10, but because of you, let me recap kidogo tu, sindio? And remember, in case you have heard this in or any of our programs, and you're wondering, hey, on my own I can't, or I have tried, I have failed, and I don't want to give up, what do I do? You can reach out to us. We'll be able to help you walk the extra mile, because hey, we are here for you, to tell you the good, the bad, the viable, the not so attractive things that are beneficial, as well as to be able to tell your story. We want to tell success stories, but before we get there, we must tell these ones that we are telling, so that we can get there. Rome wasn't built in a day, and hata mtu huyo akizaliwa leo hanzai kula githeri. You must breastfeed, and then waanze kula soft foods hivi hivi, and then githeri will come in 1 year and a half kuendelea, right? Exactly. Right here we are nurturing farmers and trying to answer all your hard questions, where you are stuck, what you didn't, what you did and did not work, what you did and worked, and what you would like to encourage any other farmer who's about to start. Because hey, remember, starting is the hardest, but once you are in there, trust you me, stopping will now become not negotiable, right? Now, communal farming, and we started by defining what communal farming was, and we said it is type of agricultural production where farmers come together and run a joint enterprise, or yeah, that is where you all put your resources together, that is land, your money, your ideas, as well as your labor, and you say, hey, forward going, forward moving, tunaendelea kufanya hii maneno, and then you start farming, right? It's as simple as that. Now we went on and ahead, and I told you, I gave you an example. The last time I heard of communal farming in Kenya was in 2015 in Baringo County, when those two warring communities were said, you know what, we are done killing each other, we're done hating each other over our kettle. Let us try and do something together. Maybe peace will eventually come. And it happened, and it came together, and no, the communities came together, and then they started communal farming. Up until then, sijawahi sikia mahali pengine in this country. However, South Africans and Zimbabweans are, and in South Africa and in Zimbabwe, wanatumia, they are still practicing, not largely, but at least they're encouraging their farmers to continue, practicing communal farming, and it's working for the less privileged communities, because nikubaya wasi nikubaya, and the fact that we want to eradicate poverty, and especially in the African continent, because poverty has been our biggest enemy of success. And like I said, if we are able to produce our very own food by ourselves, and even keep some for those uncertain times, we would do so well economically that we would surpass all these people who are calling themselves economical giants, right? Exactly. It starts from watu wameshiba, watu wamekula, do they even have enough to eat? Yeah. Once you sort that out, everything else will follow, exactly. And now we looked at a few benefits here and there, and we say that there's so many things. The fact that in a community there will always be money flowing, because if we are coming here in the same community, we have we farm our own food, we sell it within the same community, we are able to pay ourselves, and this money we are able to circulate it kila mahali. You see, nothing stops us from being unbeatable. The second thing is the fact that we are able to also keep food security within our localities, because more often than not, like in this country, we can count the number of counties that are producing food for the rest of the country. And when you try to, you know, compare the numbers, the demand for food will always be higher against the supply. The supply iko chini and the demand is higher. So that is why we are trying to say, maybe if we practiced communal farming, it would be able to help us sustain our, our local communities. Exactly, right? You see, that is why we are saying this could be the benefits we could be getting should we decide, hey, it is time we go back, and practice communal farming. It would largely help us, everyone. Now, the other thing is the market stability. We would always have have market ready, as in the communities are always market ready. Like I said, food will never run out of demand. Never, never. And the way we are, the population is rising every single day. You see, even more reason to go into communal farming, because the market will always be there. And it was even when we want to distribute local food, it becomes very easy because we know exactly who, where, and how to get this food to them, because communal farming, it means that everyone is taken care of. Are we together? Thank you so much for understanding that. Um, we also have um, hmm, now we also looked at a few problems here and there, and I say the one could be the most prevailing problem that we would need to look forward in to look into as we forged forward in communal farming is individualism, because every person first looks out for themselves and then everyone else follows, yeah. And so this could mean that we have constant unresolved issues, because if you're all making decisions, it means at no point will we all vie for or vote for the same thing. Tutakuwa tunasema hapana, hiyo yenyu hatuoni ikienda mahali, let us use this one, that one, it is not working. Or there are people who always be against the people for no reason. Individualism really will be one thing that we would need to consider and work on it as much as we can. Otherwise, communal farming will fail right before our eyes. And the fact that the thing, other problem that we would need to look into would be the government support. Yeah. Now that these farmers who or us as farmers who would want to come together and try, communal farming, we would need so much assistance, starting with subsidized, seedlings, subsidized um subsidized fertilizers, should we need them, because we always need them. We would need ready markets, should at any one point this would be too much for our own locality. Now when we decide to start exporting them to other people, we need good laws to govern, maybe the market, to govern even the import of, similar goods from other countries. Yeah, as in, you see, the government would need to be involved directly. But now, since all African governments are almost the same, hiyo inaweza kuwa kizungumkuti, but hey, everything is doable at this point, and everything that is things could change. So you see. Exactly. And then the last thing we looked at was the competition, and that is from the, imported goods. Yeah. Like I said, the government, like tax measures up so that when these goods come into the country, they're not able to, they don't beat our market price, our local market price. Then at one point or another, we would not even need these goods. Yeah. We would only be exporting our goods, right? Exactly. That is where we are at. And I've been asking you the question of, um, what happened to communal farming in Africa? And would you consider communal farming within your current locality? And my goodness, hey, I'm not sure, but hey, let us do know, because this conversation, even after this live feed, this conversation would still continue, so do not shy away from letting us know what your thoughts are, because we will keep sampling all of them and answering to your questions, because your questions are very important to us and we are here to help you. And like I keep saying, if in case you've heard a program here, or not really a program, but if you've watched any of our programs here, and you were, and after the show was over and you do not know where to begin, how to continue on your own, or you've tried on your own before and now you're thinking, hey, I am not able to go back and do it again on my own, we are here for you, our Farmers Media. Just reach out and we'll be able to help you get or make that extra or go that extra mile or that go that mile. Will be able to work with you, hold your hand, give you advice, connect you with agronomists, connect you uh, with with verbal markets, with wherever you are, just whatever it is that you need, and you can't be able to do it on your own, or if you are thinking of practicing communal farming or communal responsibilities in farming in your locality, just let us know and we will be able to help you move to the next step. We are here because of you, and remember, this is a farmers media and we are telling the story of the African farmer, a story a day. Now, this has been the breakfast show, and we do this every single day from Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. all the way to 10 a.m. in the morning with me, Grace Motoni. So tomorrow will be no different because I'll be here with something more to talk about, or something engaging to talk about. Remember, today has been a throwback Thursday, so that is why we were looking at communal farming, and maybe it could be the answer we've been waiting for, the answer we've been looking for, or the practice that we need to go back to. Remember, you are our valued you are our valued you know wow, you audience. So whatever you say, whatever you might need, we will be here to take care of your needs. Remember, we will be here tomorrow from 8 a.m all the way till 10 a.m, but until then, keep safe, wear your mask, sanitize, observe physical distance, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. My name is Grace Mutoni, and until tomorrow, take care of yourselves. Goodbye.